The Vatican is known for its secrecy. Hidden beneath its grandiose architecture and religious treasures lies a labyrinth of locked doors, dusty archives, and whispers of forbidden knowledge. Of all the tales that circulate about this mysterious place, few are as intriguing or as chilling as the legend of the Chronovisor. This device, if it ever existed, would challenge the very nature of time and reality, allowing one to witness events from the past with crystal clarity, almost as if watching them unfold on a high-definition screen. But was it real? Or just another Vatican myth designed to distract and confuse? The story begins with Father Pellegrino Ernetti, a Benedictine monk who was no ordinary clergyman. Ernetti was a polymath, a man of science and faith, deeply interested in the study of physics, musicology, and the ancient world. In the 1950s, during a series of experiments in sound engineering, Ernetti claimed to have stumbled upon something extraordinary. While working on methods to filter Gregorian chants, Ernetti began to speculate that sound waves and light, once emitted, never fully disappear. Instead, they scatter, fading into the background but remaining in existence, albeit beyond the perception of the human senses. Intrigued by this concept, Ernetti collaborated with a group of 12 other scientists, including Nobel laureates and even a young Enrico Fermi, the genius behind the first nuclear reactor. Together, they theorized that it might be possible to capture these lost waves, these echoes of time, and reconstruct them. What if the past wasn't gone, but simply out of reach? Could technology bridge that gap? The group worked tirelessly, shrouded in secrecy, driven by the tantalizing possibility of peering back into history with their own eyes. After years of experiments, setbacks, and breakthroughs, they succeeded in creating a device they called the Chronovisor. The Chronovisor, according to Ernetti, was a large machine composed of cathode ray tubes, antennas made of mysterious alloys, and a complex array of dials and buttons that allowed the user to tune in to specific times and places. It was described as a sort of temporal television, allowing viewers to witness historical events without physically traveling through time. The first tests were modest, viewing random past moments like a medieval marketplace or an ancient Roman street. But as the team refined the Chronovisor, their ambitions grew. They aimed to capture pivotal moments in history, moments that could not only satisfy academic curiosity, but also confirm or refute centuries of religious and historical debate. According to Ernetti, one of the first major events they watched was the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. This claim, of course, was staggering. Ernetti described seeing the entire scene as though he were standing on Golgotha himself. Jesus on the cross, flanked by two thieves, the mourners, the Roman soldiers. He even noted details that deviated from traditional depictions, suggesting a different look for Christ and a less dramatic atmosphere than commonly portrayed in art. It was as if Ernetti was witnessing the raw, unfiltered truth of one of history's most important events. But his descriptions didn't match up with the Gospels perfectly, raising eyebrows and questions about the Chronovisor's accuracy, or even its existence. But Ernetti's journey with the Chronovisor didn't stop at biblical times. He claimed to have witnessed the ancient Roman Senate, watching as Cicero delivered his famous speeches. He saw scenes from prehistory, watching Neanderthals in their daily lives. He even claimed to have observed lost works of literature, such as a long-lost play by Quintus Ennius, the father of Roman poetry. Ernetti transcribed the play from memory and later published it, though critics pointed out inconsistencies in his translation and style, casting doubt on his claims. Still, if his descriptions were accurate, the implications were mind-boggling. The Chronovisor wasn't just a tool for historical research, it was a window into lost worlds. Word of the Chronovisor's existence spread slowly, fueled by whispers and furtive conversations within academic and ecclesiastical circles. The Vatican, however, remained tight-lipped, neither confirming nor denying the device's existence. Speculation ran wild. If the Chronovisor was real, what else could it have seen? Some argued that the Vatican might have used it to verify the miracles of saints, to validate or suppress certain historical truths. Others feared its potential as a weapon, a means of espionage that could see into the private moments of any leader, any government, at any point in history. The Church, long known for its cautious approach to scientific progress when it threatened established doctrine, seemed an unlikely guardian of such a powerful device. Some speculated that the Vatican's interest was less about historical verification and more about controlling the narrative. Imagine the power to confirm religious events as historical fact, or to disprove them altogether. Such a device could upend the foundation of faith itself, revealing uncomfortable truths or confirming long-held beliefs. But as thrilling as the possibilities were, there were also dangers. What if the Chronovisor could see not just the past, but moments that were best left forgotten? What if it was used to spy on private moments of guilt, shame, or sin? And then there was the question of authenticity. If the Chronovisor really did capture history, could it be tampered with? Could it present an altered version of events, subtly manipulated by those who controlled it? Father Ernetti never produced hard evidence of the Chronovisor's existence. There were no photographs, no schematics, only his accounts and a single grainy image he claimed to have captured of Christ on the cross, a photo that many experts quickly dismissed as a crude forgery of a known statue. Critics accused him of being a fraud, a man who let his imagination and religious fervor get the better of him. Yet Ernetti never wavered in his story, even on his deathbed. He maintained that the Chronovisor was real, but had been dismantled and hidden away because of the risks it posed to humanity. The Vatican, for its part, has never officially commented on the Chronovisor, leaving the mystery unresolved. Some theorists believe the device is still locked away in the Vatican's secret archives, while others argue it was never more than a fantastical story concocted by Ernetti, driven by a mix of science, faith, and perhaps a touch of madness. Yet the allure of the Chronovisor persists, capturing the imaginations of conspiracy theorists, scientists, and anyone who has ever dreamed of peering into the past. What if it was true? What if time could be watched, like a film on an endless reel, frozen yet accessible with the right technology? The mere possibility raises questions that go beyond mere curiosity. It challenges our understanding of time, history, and reality itself. The allure of the Chronovisor wasn't just confined to the Vatican's corridors. As rumors spread, it captivated scientists, historians, and even governments around the world. The concept of peering into history without the constraints of written records, archaeology, or interpretation was too tantalizing to dismiss. What if you could verify every historical claim, debunk every lie, or even reveal secrets that had been carefully erased from humanity's collective memory? Despite the Vatican's refusal to acknowledge the device, whispers about its potential use by various powerful entities continued. There were stories of secret meetings between high-ranking officials and Vatican insiders, desperate to glimpse the Chronovisor's capabilities. Governments, particularly during the Cold War, were eager to exploit any technological edge, and a machine that could see the past seemed almost too perfect a tool for espionage. Not to mention propaganda. What better way to rewrite history than to show it from a different perspective, captured directly from the truth of the past? The implications were staggering. What if the Chronovisor could be used to expose dark secrets? Imagine being able to witness the decisions made behind closed doors in war rooms, or seeing the assassinations and coups orchestrated in shadowy alleys by intelligence agencies. For those in power, the Chronovisor represented both an opportunity and a threat. Whoever controlled the past could control the present and the future. But there was a darker, more unsettling possibility. Could the chronovisor be used to alter the perception of reality itself? If someone could watch the past, what was stopping them from creating a false narrative, editing out parts, or showing only selective truths? How easily could history be rewritten, not through books, but by showing the world a version of the past carefully curated to serve specific agendas? Those who sought the chronovisor didn't just want to see history, they wanted to own it. And this desire made the device a double-edged sword. On the one hand, it could be used to verify truths and correct misconceptions. On the other, it could be a tool of manipulation, twisting the past into whatever shape its user desired. Ernetti's claims, though controversial, never quite died. They found fertile ground in the minds of those who felt that history was full of holes, inconsistencies, and outright fabrications. To them, the chronovisor represented not just a scientific breakthrough, but a chance to see beyond the veil of lies that had been spun for centuries. It was the ultimate truth-seeking machine. Yet, the lack of physical evidence and the Vatican's refusal to engage in the conversation only fueled the fire of speculation. Some researchers attempted to reconstruct the chronovisor based on Ernetti's vague descriptions and scattered interviews. They worked from the principles of quantum physics, theorizing that if time was a dimension similar to space, then in theory, past events could be accessed like a radio tuning into different frequencies. However, no one succeeded in building a functional model. Skeptics dismissed these efforts as pseudoscience, arguing that the chronovisor was little more than an elaborate hoax, perhaps concocted to advance Ernetti's theological agenda. But the story doesn't end there. Decades later, new voices emerged, adding strange twists to the chronovisor legend. One of the most compelling came from a French journalist who claimed to have obtained classified Vatican documents detailing the chronovisor's experiments. According to these documents, the chronovisor was indeed operational and had been used to verify several biblical events. However, the device was also deemed highly dangerous, not just because of what it could reveal, but because of its unpredictable nature. The chronovisor didn't work like a precise tool, the documents allegedly stated. Instead, it was more akin to a receiver, picking up a wide spectrum of historical events. Tuning into a specific moment required painstaking adjustments, and even then, the images were sometimes hazy, distorted, or incomplete. Worse, it wasn't always clear what time or place the chronovisor was viewing. A minor adjustment to the dials could jump centuries, from one culture to another with no warning. It was a Pandora's box of history, capable of showing anything, from mundane everyday life to world-changing events. There were rumors of Vatican officials who became obsessed with the device, spending hours, even days, watching the past in search of answers, personal closure, or forbidden knowledge. Some reportedly saw things that disturbed them deeply, events that contradicted established doctrine or revealed uncomfortable truths about the Church's history. The machine was eventually dismantled, the pieces locked away or destroyed, and the project was buried, deemed too dangerous for the world to know. Then, there were the darker, almost fantastical claims that emerged in the underground circuits of conspiracy theorists. Some whispered that the chronovisor had been rebuilt, not by the Vatican, but by shadowy private organizations, funded by billionaires who wanted to unlock the secrets of the past for their own purposes. Others speculated that the machine, or a version of it, had been smuggled out of the Vatican and was now in the hands of an unknown entity, one that might be using it not to view the past, but to manipulate it in ways the world could never suspect. Was the chronovisor being used to alter events, influencing key moments in history, to serve hidden agendas? The implications were terrifying. If true, it would mean that our understanding of history could be completely unreliable, a curated narrative designed to shape our beliefs and actions in the present. The Vatican's silence only added fuel to the fire. For years, church officials have denied requests to access certain archives, citing security, privacy, or religious reasons. Yet, the most compelling evidence against the Chronovisor's existence is not its absence, but its sheer impossibility. The concept defies our current understanding of physics and time. It would require technology far beyond anything we possess, even by today's standards. However, as with many great mysteries, absence of evidence is not necessarily evidence of absence. The Chronovisor, if it ever existed, represents more than just a technological anomaly. It is a symbol of humanity's relentless quest to know its own story. Whether through science, religion, or conspiracy, we are drawn to the idea that our past is not fixed, not lost, but somehow within our grasp, if only we could find the right way to see it. Even if the Chronovisor is just a myth, the questions it raises remain tantalizingly real. What would we do if we could watch the past unfold before our eyes? Would we be able to handle the truth, or would we be overwhelmed by the complexity, the contradictions, and the raw reality of history, stripped of narrative and interpretation? In the end, the Chronovisor is less about technology and more about our eternal struggle to understand who we are and where we come from. It embodies our deepest hopes and fears, our yearning for certainty in a world full of uncertainties. Whether it exists or not, the Chronovisor remains a powerful reminder that history, like time itself, is a far more elusive and complex thing than we often realize.